Hello everybody, welcome to the first in a different kind of true review. This is going to be a different style of review which I'm testing out, so please let me know what you think and see if you like it. And this is Knock Knock on the Xbox One. It's priced at a very reasonable £5.59, as that sound effect completely scared the hell out of me from my headphones. But yeah, this is a very unique game. It's out in the marketplace as we speak, and you play as this lodger. This is the guy here. He's a very crazed looking individual, but he's actually a kind of hero in this tale. It's spooky as hell in here. I mean, you'll notice straight away there's zero sound effect, zero music in the actual gameplay levels themselves. And that adds massive atmosphere to the game. I mean, the Lodger communicates with you in this weird tongue. And what you have to do is, the game's split up into two types of levels. You've first got these levels where you're awake, which is where I am now. I mean, the levels don't look that much different, but you can tell you're awake because the levels are populated with the rooms are populated with furniture and such. I mean, there's that sound effect again. It's very eerie, especially when you're in the levels which cause you to, like, you can actually, failing and dying. But yeah, you've got to go around the house in these, well, not in these levels, but you have to go around the house to find your clock, which is shown at the top left hand corner there. So these overworld levels, as we listen to him talk again, these overworld levels, you basically have to just wind your clock once and then exit out into the dark wood, which we're going to go to now, and I'll show you what happens then. These are kind of like where a lot of the story actually happens in these overworld levels. I mean, as you can see from the graphics, they're very stylish and unique, and it's got its very own look to it, and I think it works really well. So where's this clock now? Let's have a look. You can zoom out by pushing down on your right stick, which zooms the map out. You can't actually move when you're in the zoomed out position. But yeah, when you turn a light on, you'll notice you do move across the rooms a lot quicker, as you can see there. But if I turn the light off, it'll actually move a bit more cautiously in that weird kind of walk that he's got. But here we are, here's the clock. The clock's very strange as well, because if you can see, it's like his head. And I like how they've kind of made it look like his actual face as well. It looks like there's closed eyes there and a mouth. That's just my interpretation of it. I mean, look at the atmosphere of this game. This game oozes atmosphere. It's amazingly done for that choice of art style in the game. So we've opened the door now in the awake level, so we're going to go out into the forest and show you the next aspect of the game, where you choose to basically the crux of it is you got to get back to your house by going out into the wood. Now you may say, why have you got to go out in the first place? Well, gameplay mechanics. So now we're in this wood. As time limit's gone for the moment, so we're okay now, and you basically move left and right, and you can move up and down when there's a gap in the trees, which transition you into the next plane. Now, in these early levels, probably until about 2/3 of the way into the game, these levels are pretty much straightforward. You're not on a timer. There's no enemies in this section at all, and you can either your main goal is to return to the house, to find the house. So we've got to just look for it, and there is audio cues, as you may have heard there, and they help you find the girl in the woods. If you do find the girl in the woods, she may give you what's called a fragment of reality, which you need to get the good ending. You need so many of those to reach the actual good ending of the game. So we're just randomly walking around here. The audio cues are supposed to guide you there, but if I'm honest with you, I've never actually figured them out properly, and I just kind of randomly wander around, and it seems to do me a good enough job. So basically, we're either looking for the girl, looking for the house, depending on what kind of ending we want to go to. And there's the girl there. Now, sometimes she doesn't give you a fragment. Let's see if she does this time. And she doesn't. If she doesn't, you just have to find her again. Now, obviously, in these early levels, as I mentioned, that doesn't pose much of an issue because you're not on a timer as such. So there's the house again. So we'll only go in that if we actually get near it on the plane that it's on, which is like here. So we'll avoid that for the time being. We'll try and find the girl. Okay, so I found a girl now for the 6th time. Will she give me the fragment this time? Indeed she does. So these are the fragments of reality, and to be honest with you, they're very, very bizarre and abstract, and yeah, they're very, very weird. But if you want in a good ending, you do have to go for these. Now, as I say, looking for the girl for like probably about 10 minutes, which I've just been doing now, obviously a few seconds for you in the video. It doesn't pose a problem within the first 2/3 of the game because you've got no sanity bar, which is basically your health bar. Now guys, you join me back in the house now for the second portion of the game, which is the dream sequences. Now you may say this looks like what I've just seen a few minutes ago, but yeah, you're in the same house, but it's different. This is where the fun begins. So basically, we have to get that clock at the top left hand corner fully wound, so we've got to turn it all white. And we did that either through natural progression of time or by finding the clock to actually wind. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn the lights on in each room. And because it's in a dream state, there's no furniture in the room as such. Now when you turn a light on, sometimes you'll get a free bit of furniture added to the room there. But what you generally have to do is when you turn the lights on, you have to wait a few seconds and he will close his eyes. And now he's trying to remember what was in the room. Now this is how you find the clock. You've got to reveal the contents of the room now. No clock there. Now sometimes there can be 2 or 3 items of furniture in there, so the clock may not be the first one. And we have to do this kind of like, not against the clock as such, because the clock's in our favour really. We're ticking down to the end of the level constantly. But if you leave it too long, breaches will start happening. You soon know when one of those happens, when there's a big massive noise, big massive effect that's going to happen. And that means if we don't close the breach, a guest is going to appear, which is like a ghost. And if they make contact with you, they'll actually knock your clock backwards. Now I actually got hit by one then, I didn't actually see it, but they knock your clock all the way backwards, so it's all grey. You actually fail the level and have to restart it. Now that's, again, as I mentioned before, not a massive problem for the first 2/3 of the game when you have no insanity bar, but in the last third you do get the insanity bar, and if that does deplete, you can't actually complete the game. Because you'll die when you complete the next level. You'll actually go insane and get the game over screen. So that's breach is going to appear. Now that's a very rare event that we were actually able to disable it before it actually got there, because normally unless you're right next to the room, you're not going to get there in time. So we continue going through the house, basically just turning the lights on. I mean, look at the sound effects. It's so eerie and so creepy. It's brilliant. And remembering the contents of the rooms, trying to find the clock. Now we've got to find it more than one time because the clock just basically speeds it up for a few cycles. A diary page there, that's the game's collectibles, which I'll mention a little bit in a moment because they don't actually work correctly. So we've got no chance of getting to that one. So this is where the fun's going to begin now, because we are going to get a guest in the house. Now you can hide from the guests under various bits of furniture, but it's very difficult to do. Here we go, that means the guest's in the room, and we found the clock, so we're going to wind it, and as you can see it fast forwards the clock there.
Hear you breathing.
Now you may also notice that I'm turning the lights off as I'm going, even though I do walk slower. Now the reason for that is you only can see the guests in the dark. think if you saw it there just very briefly, there was one right behind me. And there's going to be another breach appear. Now I'm letting some of these appear, breaches open on purpose, just so we can get some guessing, so you can see what the gameplay is kind of like. And if you've got a good pair of headphones, these breaches and these sound effects do actually sometimes give you the right jump scare, because some of them are very, very loud. So we've got another collectible there. Nothing in that room.
I see you.
I mean, this is one of the early levels, so... Oh, there we go. He got me. No chance to avoid that. Now that's a wicked door, that is. That's a door, you hear the knocking when I was trying to open it. That means if I open that door, I'll get sent to somewhere called the Endless Corridor, which basically resets the level, so that's kind of a bad thing. But it can also be a good thing, because you do, on very rare occasions, get a fragment of reality as well, which is the same thing what the girl gives you. So, can be a good thing, can be a bad thing. It's definitely a good thing, can be a good thing early on in the game, but once you've got that insanity bar up and running again, which I keep mentioning, your time is very, very limited, so usually something to avoid there. Just so creepy this game is. It reminds me of like the Evil Dead, where the chilling voices when the first women get possessed, and they've got that very eerie, spooky voice which chills you to the bone. Now, in terms of graphics, I think it looks beautiful. I think it's, you know, it's obviously these guys have got talent. And, oh, it got me. And my clock reset there, so I'm having to restart the level again. I mean, these guys have obviously got some talent behind them, because the game's beautifully drawn, and I think to create an atmosphere so spooky, so atmospheric that they have with this, using this art style, is to be commended, really. And the use of little to zero music, again, just absolutely works wonders for the game. Now, there is some issues with it. Like when the breaches appear, unless you are right on top of the breaches, you've pretty much got no chance of getting to the room, and it does penalise you for closing a breach once you get there. But I think that's obviously your penalty for not reaching it in time. As I say, unless, like, if one appeared in the room above me now, if I'm not stood right here, I'm probably not going to get next to it. So when they appear halfway across the mansion, you've got zero chance of actually getting there. Also, the hide feature doesn't really work that well. They seem to... I can't quite grasp how they're supposed to be able to know you're there, because sometimes I've hidden when they're several rooms away and they just straight find me. And... oh, there's one behind me then. Oh! It messes with your game. It messes with this game. It's... but yeah, it's... really, really enjoyable, and for the price you can't really go wrong. And there's another I think a bug in the game as well in regards to the diary pages achievements, but it's kind of a good one. Now, you may have seen me pick up the diary pages every now and then when I'm been searching for stuff. Now, for some reason, when you collect those, the tracker doesn't go up on for the achievement, but when you do reach the last level of the game, you can just simply walk into the closed front door of the house repeated times, just walk backwards and forwards like this into the door, and it will keep giving you diary pages, and those pages do count towards the achievement, so you can literally unlock the free diary page achievements in a matter of 30 seconds using that method, which is a bit bizarre. I don't think it's supposed to work like that, but nevertheless, it's an easier way than trying to find them manually, which is purely random. But yeah, it's really, really good. I mean, the amount of guests available, the amount of guests that the game throws at you as well is quite impressive. You have different types. I mean, we've seen the fast ghoul there. There's a slow walking headless corpse. There's the doppelganger, which looks like you can either be highly aggressive or completely passive, and just goes about doing what you do, turning lights on and such. So there's also like runaway hospital trolleys, which are very hard to avoid. Muddy handprints crawling along the floor. There's corpses rolling around in balls of leaves, which are very bizarre but very tricky to dodge. And there's 2 endings to the game as well. which is nice, depending on if you have managed to collect enough fragments of reality from the girl and the endless corridor. So yeah, it's, I think for the amount of money they're asking for this, for £5, was it £5.69? I think it's fantastic value. I mean, once you grasp what you're doing, you're looking at a playthrough will take you about 2 hours to do. So if there's 2 playthroughs, that's looking at about 4 hours once you've grasped it, plus another probably hour and a half, 2 hours actually figuring out what you're supposed to do. But yeah, I think for the asking price, this is a highly recommended title, and we've got a new scoring system that we're trialing at the moment, so this definitely gets a recommended from us here at TrueTube. And I hope you enjoyed the video and the new kind of style, and I'll catch you on the next video. Thanks for watching.
Finally, I'm home. Let's play now.